So you're retiring.
Yes.
So when did you first arrive here for like the MAPW program?
In August of 1997.
Okay.
Yes.
So how have you seen it grown, since?
Oh, the program has changed a lot in those years.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a lot more professional writing courses added, like web content development was one of the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved from teaching a traditional rhetoric to teaching writing in colleges and universities. And so it's, it's grown a lot. And then I've added the writing biography course. And so.
So what's your favorite thing been about teaching in this program?
Oh, the students. The students are my favorite.
Which one specifically?
Like a name of student?
Yeah, your favorite one.
My very, I don't have a favorite. I have many favorites, yes.
So kind of talk to me about, you've been here for a long time. What are you most proud of seeing in the program, outside of the program, where students have gone after they graduated here?
Well, students are doing really interesting things.
Like what?
Well, you for one are continuing your professional writing, and I follow you, so I love your podcast. I think that was a great idea. That's really, students do all kinds of new things, and Valerie Matthews has done a completely artistic, poetic, lyrical capstone project about technical writing, which is very amazing.
Yeah.
And I've had a number of students do their capstones on biography, and that's always meant a lot to me because the students who do that, they intend to go on and publish, those.
And that's from your class too?
Yes, actually, yeah, because I'm the only one who teaches that. But I was just, 20 years. So many students have done so many things.
Yeah.
And one of my very early students is now at the Southern Regional Education Board, and she's doing great work there. And she was at Emory Health Center before then, doing the communications. And quite a few people started freelance writing businesses, and those have been successful too.
Yeah. And I know that your career was pretty diverse even before going into academia. Do you think that helped you with this changing program too?
I think it did, because I've always, I'm all for change and new things, and let's do new things. And it's what I did in my own life. And so I like to encourage that in students. Mm-hmm. That I find that important.
Because your path wasn't strictly academic the whole way. Like you worked at NASA before, right?
Yes.
Kind of walk us through that. What was your career before academia?
Oh, God. Well, before NASA, I was a clinical lab technician. And I worked in several really large hospitals in Texas. And I worked in the clinical labs of those. And then I ran, the last lab job I had was running the toxicology lab at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston. I wrote procedure manuals there. I did quality control there. And those kinds of things were on my resume when I went looking for a technical writing job. When I finished my master's courses at the University of Houston in Clear Lake, I went looking because, of course, there's tons of contractors all around the Clear Lake, Houston area. Mm-hmm. So I went, and that's where the Johnson Space Center is located. And I went on many interviews, and I found a company that was interested in what I had to offer, and they hired me. And then I did, and I like to tell students about this, is you have to be opportunistic in the job market, and the only way to get your salary up is to jump companies. So I jumped jobs, and my salary was tripled within 3 years. And I went to work at NASA, and I did have an odd title. So this is really weird sounding, but because of my work in quality control and in the toxicology lab and procedures writing and that kind of work, they wanted me to be, and I became a SR and QA engineer, which is safety, reliability, and quality assurance. Writing procedures and reports on safety there, but I wanted to do more, and so I saw a job open and I jumped for that job, and I went to work for Link Flight Simulation Division. In new business development, I wrote proposals. So that started me on a path, and then I decided a job opening was posted by my alma mater, and they were looking for the University of Houston for someone to teach technical writing, but that you had to have a master's degree and you had to have experience. Well, I had both. And so I was lucky, and they hired me, and I found out I loved teaching. And that made me decide to go on and pursue the PhD. And so I went to Arizona State University and studied rhetoric and composition, and that's what I got my doctorate in. And I also, while I was out in Phoenix, I started my own freelance business because working as a teaching associate at the university, they give you a stipend, but I didn't think it was very much. And I could make a lot more money doing technical writing as a freelancer. And so I started my own company. The Writing Force. Okay, this is corny. This is so I could say, may the force be with you.
Oh, wow.
That dates me.
No, that's coming back.
And so I did really great, and I had my old professors at the University of Houston in Clear Lake knew what I was doing. They knew I was finishing up my PhD, and they called me and said they had a job they wanted me to apply for, teaching technical writing, and would I be interested? So I had to think about it, and I decided to go interview with them, and I decided to, because I had to make that decision, was I going to continue with freelance, or was I going to get serious with this doctorate, which I supposedly went in to get for teaching. So I made the jump, and I loved my 4 years at the University of Houston, Clear Lake, but it was a lecturer position, and I wanted a tenure track position. So I went on the job market, and fortunately, that was the year the MAPW program was looking for someone who had my experience out in the workforce, had my PhD, and had experience teaching those very subjects. So I was very fortunate to get hired. It was just the best job for my qualifications ever. So.
Cool.
So I took it, and of course I have to tell you, I thought, where the heck is Kennesaw, Georgia?
Yeah.
But I had heard of it before, because my very first publication was a chapter in a book written by Susan Hunter, who was then the director of the MAPW program, and I didn't know she was at Kennesaw State. I'd forgotten. But the letters had come from Kennesaw College to accept the chapter, and arrange for the publication and all that. So it was really kind of a surprise to me when she said, I published your paper. I said, you published my very first paper.
Wow.
So it was really serendipity. It was just weird.
Yeah, your career's seen a lot of changes, and then when you came here, you've seen this program change and grow.
Right.
How,
right.
For the next 20 years, how do you think, or how would you want to see this program continue to change?
Oh, I think it needs to really embrace digital and go out on a limb and do really exciting and innovative things.
Like what?
Well, for instance, why don't we have classes in podcasts? why don't we have classes in comic book publication? Or I know that Sergio is doing a lot of work with that stuff right now, and so I think the future can look really good.
So if you want to take this opportunity now to speak to your students, all your past students,
Oh my.
is there anything that you'd like to say to them?
Well, I don't want to cry, but thank you. Getting to know my students has made my life wonderful.
Well, you've made a big impact on a lot of us, I think. Definitely me. I can say Stephanie too.
Well, thank you.
So you've done a great job here.
Thanks.